Welcome to First Son Diaries, the channel where we share real stories about family, culture, and the hidden struggles of being the first son. Today's episode is deeply personal. I'm sharing what it was like to grow up as the first son in a family torn apart by an old hatred, a hatred that started long before I was even born. Every family has its secrets, but mine had a war that never really ended. I grew up as the first son in a home where love and hate lived under the same roof, and where my grandmother's anger outlived her own life. I was born into a family where love and war lived side by side. As the first son, people expected me to carry the family name with pride, to unite everyone, to be the bridge. But from the moment I could understand words, I knew my family wasn't one that easily came together. The heart of the conflict began long before I was born. My grandmother, my father's mother, despised my mother. No one ever gave me a clear reason. Some whispered about jealousy. Others hinted at old grudges, secrets, or simply a clash of pride. But whatever the cause, my grandmother's hatred spread like smoke, touching everything and everyone. Even my father, her own son, wasn't spared. He suffered because he chose my mother and refused to abandon her, no matter how much pressure he faced. Their marriage became a battlefield. My grandmother used every weapon she could. Harsh words, silent treatments, subtle manipulations, to break them apart. But my parents refused to separate. They stayed together, side by side, even as the war raged on around them. Growing up, I felt that hatred like a shadow over my childhood. Family gatherings were not celebrations. They were tense performances. Aunties and uncles carried my grandmother's bitterness like an inheritance, throwing small jabs, quiet insults, and cold stares that even a child could feel. It was as if my grandmother's mission, to divide, didn't die with her. Even after she passed away, her anger lived on in her children. My father eventually passed too, 15 years after my grandmother. You'd think death would bring peace, but instead, it felt like the torch of hostility was simply passed down. My aunties and uncles continued where my grandmother left off, carrying her grudges as if they were sacred duties. As the first son, I often felt trapped. Some relatives treated me like I was a threat, others like I was a bargaining chip. I was expected to show respect, to keep family ties alive, even when those ties cut deep. And yet, I also carried my father's quiet strength, his refusal to let hatred dictate his choices. That became my guide. Now, as an adult, I still feel the echoes of those battles. The fight never really ended. It just changed shape. But I've learned that my role is not to continue the war. It's to choose peace, even if others won't. Being the first son doesn't mean carrying old grudges. It means breaking cycles, even when the weight of the past tries to pull you back. My father showed me that love is a decision, not a weakness. And my mother taught me that endurance can be quiet but unshakable. Their courage is the inheritance I choose to keep, not the bitterness my grandmother left behind. This is just one chapter of story that still shapes my life today. If you've ever faced family conflicts like this, you know how heavy that burden can be. Follow First Son Diaries for the next episode, where we continue to break the silence and share the truths families keep hidden. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's navigate this journey together.